will be remembered for the rest of the time. And here we go. The grand finals of BlizzCon is upon us.
Down here in the bottom left of Deadwing, our Zerg player makes some noise for StarTale Life. And his opponent to the north in the top left from Team Acer, it's MMA.
Not a lot of people expected these two players to be in the grand finals. Life came into BlizzCon as the rank 14 seed out of 16, and MMA was ranked number 9. Both players had difficulties even getting to BlizzCon throughout this year. MMA started the year strong. He had a very difficult midsection of 2014, but he recovered with 2 major championships, DreamHack Moscow and then WCS Season 3, and very similar was Life.
That's right. You know, it was very iffy for these guys. So they came in as underdogs. They came in as people that were just brushed aside. In fact, I believe that almost all of the professional analysts said, you know, I think both these guys are losing their first rounds. But they tried so hard. They practiced so heavily, really got into it. And you can see it's paid off in dividends.
And it is so difficult to call who's actually going to come out on top here. It's really going to come down to this. Well, every single moment, every single decision throughout this game is going to be incredibly important. And already we start to see both build orders taking shape.
Well, this is exactly what I want to see throughout the series. A pretty quick Zergling speed for Life. I mean, that's his unit, right? The speed Zergling. This is what he gets all of his success off of. The scouting, the aggression, the defense. This is his key unit. Whereas MMA, on the other hand, a more reactive Terran player, going to open with the Reaper so he can scout what's going on.
And he will need to do that considering the way that Live just played against Tasia. Incredibly aggressive and very unorthodox. That wasn't really typical Zerg play that we saw from Live. MMA, very similar to Tasia. Probably in a straight-up fight is the favorite, but tricks are probably going to be the way that Life is going to edge through.
Well, one of the tricks is to play completely different from how you've played before. He was very cheesy, very aggressive and sneaky in his match against Tasia, and Life is a really smart guy. He realizes MMA was watching and studying, so I think he's going to go for some macro play here.
On Deadwing, it would be the smart choice here. A nice, large 4-player map. And the Reaper does get a Zergling kill here already, and that is a good start here for MMA to get a single Zergling kill, and he's going to try and get a second one here. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult to get. He does not want to lose a drone here.
Well, it looks like you should get another Zergling, I think. Oh, yeah. There you go. He does get a second. This is actually very nice by MMA. A lot of the times you don't even kill one Zergling with this, but some very strong micro coming out from our Terran.
And MMA here, he's moving 2 Marines south of his main base. As he's scouting at the same time with the Reaper, he's going to try and catch a drone, transferring from the main base to the natural, and it looks like he's going to get one here. And MMA, a great start here. 2 Zerglings down, a drone as well. And he does have the option to poke in and scout. 2 Marines inside his main base here. Going to deny any Overlord scout as well. So he really keeps what he's doing in this game. Well, he could away from Life here, but he has chosen to throw down this starport. Maybe a little bit worried about potential Zerglings coming towards the front here.
Yeah, he definitely could be. He realizes speed could be finishing up pretty soon, and he is right about that. It is just about finishing right now, so Life will go out and scout, but you're right, Apollo. So far, MMA taking a little bit of an advantage, and this could get into Life's head a little bit. To lose 2 Zerglings and a drone to a Reaper, it's pretty uncommon for Life.
That is pretty uncommon here, but the game continues on here as we have Life at 46 applied, MMA to 39. The first couple of Hellions are coming out now, and this is where MMA is going to be able to continue his pressure with that first Reaper.
Well, he is pushing forward right now. Going to see that, in fact, this third base is making right now. The Queen's going to come out and kind of deny any harassment. Not an easy place for MMA to really harass, being on the high ground.
With MMA taking a second gas here, it really opens up his options, because you normally see the third command center come in to really push your production, your economy, and just play for the longer stages of the game here. Live's hiding Zerglings, which could give him more information on this game if he's able to get in there. But I think we may see an armory come in. He could try to use Hellbats here for a frontal attack. There is the armory coming in, so it looks like we are going to see that. But there is an Overlord very, very close here for life.
And that's right. If he pokes up and sees the armory, he's going to know all he needs to know to be able to stop this. But still, it is a very tricky push to stop.
Right.
You know, you have a couple medevacs, a whole bunch of Hellbats, and some Marines with stim behind that. That's a scary force indeed.
And life is playing pretty safe overall. He's got 5 Queens. He's built a Spine Crawler in the dark here. He has no idea what MMA is doing behind this. For all he knows, this could be a third command center, a double engineering bay, and just a very long game here. Baneling coming in at a regular time here, maybe a little bit earlier than normal, should I say, actually. But
And
this push is going to come out.
He is making some Zerglings as well. It doesn't look like he's actually checked this yet, but, you know, he does know the gas is there, so he knows this is within the range of possibilities of what could occur.
Well, this push is going to happen here, Autosis. There's a lot of Hellions, and Hellions still being made here. Overlord's kind of slowing down and hopefully supply capping life here as MMA sets up for his first decisive push of the final.
That's right, but we do have a Spine Crawler, we do have some Queens, and 20 Speedlings. So, do you think this will be enough, Apollo? Can he hold on right here?
I'm not too sure he can. The Baneling is going to complete. Baneling's going to be incredibly important. MMA transform his Hellions into Hellbats, and here we go.
Uh-oh, the Hellbat's going to start walking up this ramp right now. He is morphing some Banelings, but they may be too late. Moving forward right now is MMA into this Spine Crawler. The Queen's trying to hold their ground, but he really needs these Banelings.
Hey, the Baneling's going to connect. They need to connect here. If they do morph, he's going to have to split and well. Pretty decent connections, but not enough. There's still 3 Hellbats. There's still a lot of Marines, and this Medivac is healing these as well. A great move from MMA.
It certainly is, but he hasn't lost drones yet. So if he can kill this army off still without hurting his economy too badly, life is still in this game. He is still working on nice transfuse on that Queen, pulling the Queen back now. Still a single Hellbat pushing forward, and it looks like MMA will pick up and retreat.
Only a single drone killed there, 39 Zerglings, 5 Queens. Damage was dealt, and damage will continue. But life has pushed the majority of this off. Actually, this drop here equals the drones from the original push, Artosis.
That's right.
But things to keep in consideration. No third command center, no engineering base. 1-1 is done. We're going to see a lot of drones coming in from life. He is going to take a lead in this game.
You know, he did sacrifice quite a bit for such a powerful push, and for life to hold it without really losing a lot of drones, I gotta say, I think life is totally fine here, especially when you look at his upgrades. He's already got 1-1, he's starting Baneling speed and even +2 carapace, and that is miles ahead of where MMA is at.
All right, well, extra production coming in here for MMA. He salvages his bunkers. He thought there could be a counter-attack coming in here, but that is not the case. He's going to start to feel out this game a little bit more, because that's all he's seen was that push. Doesn't really know exactly where he is in this game, but as we can see as observers, there is a 20 supply difference here for life, who does see that third command center about to be taken.
That's right. Those scouting Zerglings actually doing a great job for him. He understands the timing of this third base, and he can adjust accordingly. Now, he does have another hatchery on the way. No fourth base. Okay, just this second starts up his fourth base. He's already taken down the rocks. His creep spread looking okay, but not quite as good as he'd like it right now.
Well, MMA does have a drop on the left-hand side here, but Mutalisks are starting to come into this game here with 4 in the production tab. These Hellions must get some damage done here for MMA. But as we can see, there's already units here for life. He's expecting this type of play, and that's very easily dealt with here. And with the Mutalisks popping out, this will be pushed back very easily.
That's right. So still not a lot of economic damage done to life. And, you know, we always talk about how he's an aggressive Zerg. He's in your face. He's sneaky. He's cheesy. But really, this guy is fantastic at macro play, too. If you don't kill any of his drones, he's as scary as any other Zerg in the world.
And even though this game may look very equal for the majority of people right now, the big difference are those upgrades. Once these 2-2 upgrades complete here for life, every fight he takes will be so cost efficient here. He's going to get fantastic trades with MMA, and that's where he's going to start to, you know, further his lead.
Well, MMA right now pushing down. He does have quite a few medevacs. Probably going to look to push back some of this creep. And if he can do that, it's going to be really nice for him. These bases are kind of close together. Not a lot of creep at the moment, but it looks like Life wants to come in and try to kill this army off.
Yeah, there's not a lot here from MMA. Boost back towards his Hellions and actually give a bit of support in this fight here. Life is fighting in this army and he pushes his back once again. How much and how many reinforcements does MMA have here to help out? As once these buildings go down, that is it. And there's a lot of units here for MMA.
Oh, that's right. Already 2 medevacs picked off right now, though. So Life did do some damage with this. He got rid of all the Hellions as well. So those are some strong kills. But overall, MMA still fine.
All right, the game continues on here. Those upgrades about to kick in here for Life, +2 attack finishing. He's getting his air upgrades for his Mutalisks. And at this point here, MMA needs to start dealing damage here to Life. He really hasn't been able to do too much in this game. He's got fantastic production set up, but he's just slightly behind the curve here. 20 supply behind. Life going in again.
And he does get a nice surround off these Mutalisks pushing forward right now. Life trying to mix it up more and more and more. Some few Banelings coming up. The Marine count is getting a little bit lower, but reinforcements do come in, and it looks like he will hold on.
Yeah, trades once again here, and Life kind of winning these fights. He's extended his lead by a 30-odd supply hit. Scan from MMA, having a quick look in between the bases here. What kind of units do we have? How kind of saturated is that 4th base? And he sees there's no gases on that 4th base. A pretty big tell here for MMA to slow down the aggression a lot. Knowing that Life's Zerg count could be a little bit low, that there isn't full saturation on that base. He doesn't need to keep on being hyper-aggressive. He maybe feels that he's a little bit closer in this game than he was first anticipating.
Yeah, I think you are definitely right about that. He's got to watch out for the mass amounts of Zerglings, but hold on, we do have the Mutas going into the main base, multiple turrets going up, but they're a little bit too late. He will get right into this main mineral line and be able to, not quite take out the turret. Very nice repair by MMA, but he will lose quite a few SCVs.
Yeah, losing 5 so far, and he is going to continue to lose on that turret, getting very, very low, but with more SCVs coming to repair, he will hold on from this point, but he did lose 7 SCVs there, and as you can see, the supply still furthering for Life here, 180 to 140. MMA does have those two upgrades complete now, so the upgrade advantage pretty much disappeared here for Life.
That's right. He's fought right back into this game. Still no 4th base for MMA, but that's okay because Life hasn't taken his 5th yet. When Life does end up doing that, though, it's really going to split him up from where he's got most of his defense.
All right, well, Mutalisk looking for some weaknesses, and that is a naked mineral line. No defense there, but Life may not have quite seen that, as doesn't want to overcommit, does not want to lose these Mutalisks.
Oh, and he is flying in right now. Ooh, some Widow Mines there. He's got to be very careful. MMA on top of his micro. Oh, Life may be going for a big attack. Bringing these Lings in to set off some Widow Mines. Doesn't succeed on all of them.
No, those 2 Widow Mines are huge right now. They need to detonate onto these buildings, otherwise they're going to come crashing through. First 2 players got some really good hits here. One of the Widow Mines goes down. There's only 1 left, and that is a lot of Banelings here, Autosis.
It certainly is, but we do still have a Widow Mine up there. In the meantime, MMA is trying to do another drop over at Life's side of the map. Will this bring Life home with his Mutalisks, though? It looks like yes, it will.
Yes, it will. That gives MMA some more time to increase his army strength and kind of prepare his defensive once again. This drop, beautiful here from MMA, buying himself some necessary time.
All right, it looks like MMA going to push out down his 3rd base ramp, trying to push back these Lings and Banes, does successfully do so, and he's got a great defensive position here, Paul. I think the attack timing for Life has actually come and gone. He has to back up and find a new strategy.
He's chosen the infestation pit here, going to go into high blood. Hold that thought, as Life is going to decide to attack up into this. There's a lot of Marines up here. The Widow Mines go in and they get some pretty good connections.
Oh my God, the Banelings rolling forward, trying to get all these Marines, even some SCVs being taken out. This Thor being targeted down, picked up by MMA. Some great micro with these medevacs.
And the Thor goes down, but there's still a lot of Mutalisks here. How many Marines are going to actually hold on? Life has a supply advantage, but MMA starting to push him back from this 3rd base.
That's right, but look at the supply, Apollo. MMA is so far behind, over 60 supply down. Does bro these Widow Mines, they get taken out by the Mutalisks. More and more Lings coming up, and Life presses his advantage. GG!
All right, time to begin map number 2.
All right, over here in the bottom right of Catalina. Make some noise for Startail Life. And his opponent over on the left-hand side of the map, the Terran player from Team Acer, it's MMA!
past has been well known for his Terran versus Zerg, his multiple medevac drops, his highlighted aggression, and he really needs to rely on that here today. But we haven't seen a lot of Terran versus Zerg from MMA in recent times here. It's been a lot of Terran versus Terran, it's been a lot of Terran versus Protoss.
Well, that is kind of something we've seen quite a bit of this year. You know, Terrans have really made a big resurgence, MMA being at the forefront of that at this point. But, you know, this has been a tough map for Zergs. We've seen quite a few of them veto it in various terms. Of course, here at the BlizzCon World Championship Finals, you can't veto anything. You got to play every map, and you got to play it like it's your last. So what, Apollo, does Life do here to try to take this game? Where is his best chance?
I think aggression again here. I think that MMA, Artosis, is very, very emotionally invested into winning BlizzCon. He wants it more than anything else. He's mentioned how he's potentially thinking of retiring coming next year. It's all or nothing for him. If he was to lose this next map to some type of all-in, I think it would really rock his confidence against Life.
I have to agree with you there. You know, if you lose that game where you went for a very strong Hellbat push in game number 1, gave yourself a good chance to kill him off early and start the series off right, and then on the map that you chose, the map that you feel most comfortable on, and you don't even get to play Zergs on that much because it is a bit Terran favored, you can't lose that map. You can't come back against Life in a situation like that.
So we're going to have to keep our eyes on if we see that aggression come out from Life. We see pretty much the regular build coming out from Life here. Hatchery first, and then we saw the spawning pool, then slightly after was the gas, the extractor, to bring in the Vespian gas, whereas on the other side of things, MMA chosen command center first here on a map that more so favors the same build we saw previously in the Reaper opening because of how easy it is to scout, to go in, to find out and figure out what your opponent's doing. Why do you think that is?
Well, Apollo, I have to say, I think that these two, like, these are very seasoned tournament veterans, okay? These guys travel all around the world. They both won countless titles. They both just play at the absolute maximum level of this game. And I think that this finals here at BlizzCon is a battle of wills. This is a bunch of mind games. They want to trick and out-trick each other and get that mental advantage, knowing how much pressure there is in front of the biggest audience we've seen in StarCraft 2 to date.
Wow, Artosis, you know how to play a crowd.
Thank you, Apollo.
All right, build's starting to take shape now. We have the second gas being taken from second gas on the natural here. Actually, I was a little bit confused there. Second gas by MMA, hiding it away from Life here. Whereas Life has just got his Zergling speed on the way, third hatchery coming in, and it's going to be quite important to try to figure out what MMA's up to here. With the second gas, he once again opens up his options. He can afford to get the starport down here. He can afford to build up the Hellion count and switch into Hellbats again. He could go into Banshee play. There's multiple different choices he can make.
Yeah, there's quite a few possibilities here. What would you prefer on a map like Catalina? Do you want to see the heavy Banshee, Hellion harassment, or would you prefer that he goes for another push like we saw in the last game?
I think Hellion Banshee can be quite good, but by the looks of it, I mean, he's already chosen my answer for me. It's going to be potentially very similar here to what we saw previously. Both are kind of good. I do like aggression coming out from MMA. The second to third base is quite far away from each other. It's not as easy as a creep spread. There's chances to either use the Banshees in the main base because of the airspace. There are chances here from MMA to get damage done for sure.
Well, we do have a medevac on the way. A couple Widow Mines being produced right now. Something we definitely have seen on this map in the past, can be used very effectively to pressure and sometimes even in medevac drops.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to see here. But Life is trying to figure out what's going on. He's got a Overlord moving in, but he switches back. He sees the Tech Lab and Stim being researched. And then he's going to see the factory moving over. The Widow Mines just down that ramp.
Ooh, he needs to hide those Widow Mines. You don't want to show those Widow Mines. Okay.
I think he may have just missed it, but he saw the starport. And is going to start to wonder what's going on. He's added on a Baneling nest very early and started Zergling production. Life smells what MMA is up to.
Well, MMA bringing over this medevac right now with a couple of Widow Mines. No detection right now for Life, so that could turn into being a big deal.
Yeah, he cannot let these land. Absolutely cannot let these land.
A lot of Zerglings being produced right now. He doesn't have any extra creep spread in his main base. The Hellion's going to try to maybe draw attention, but the medevac not being able to get anything off so far.
This is a lot of Zerglings that Life is building here. It's almost more than you need to defend, Artosis.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Apollo. We may be seeing a Baneling bust
coming out of life here.
I think that's what we are going to see here. The type of attack that MMA went for didn't do anything. He's invested resources into it.
MMA knows. He's going for a siege tank, Apollo. That is exactly the unit you want to be able to stop a Baneling bust. Putting that on your high ground, it can splash and kill so many Banelings that the Zerg just won't be able to break you.
All right, well, let's find out, is this going to work or not? So many Zerglings have been made. He's 68 already. The tank, though, on a map like this, on a map that has a small choke area just underneath the second base, the second expansion for MMA, it's going to be very difficult to make work here. The medevac trying to still plant the Widow Mines, but here comes the flood.
At least it's nice that he doesn't have the Widow Mines at home. Those help out a lot as well. Ooh, the siege tank going on the low ground.
Oh,
the siege tank moving out. This could be bad.
This is huge for Life. Life knows, and now he's going to try and get a full surround. This is so big for Life.
This is huge. Life surrounding the army. The Banelings coming in, going up the ramp. Another siege tank is out, but he busts through that wall, and there are no units to protect this siege tank.
He's keeping the Banelings next to the siege tank, and MMA has walked into this attack. He had no idea what was happening, and oh, he's in so much trouble right now. His complete base is exposed. Widow Mines come to help, but the flood is here. The natural has been exposed. The main base is being absolutely destroyed.
There are so many Zerglings in here. He is killing off so much. All the SCVs being involved.
To that $100,000 first place prize.
Down here in the bottom right of Foxtrot Labs, it is none other than Startail Life. And his opponent in the top left, our Terran player yet to put a victory on the board. Make some noise for Acer MMA.
And this is where it all matters now here for MMA. And as much as the pressure's on him, Artosis, Life already deciding to take the game into his own hands here. He's moving out with a drone very, very early. And from what we saw against Tasia, I think we might have an insight into what we're going to see.
Do you think that this is going to be a proxy hatch, or maybe is he trying to just scout and see what's going on?
Artosis, I think it's going to be a proxy hatchery.
Oh my God, that would just be awesome. I would love to see it. Is Joel, though, kind of sitting at home? Oh. Well, I mean, that's closer to MMA than the hatchery is base, so in some manner of speaking, you're right.
I wish it was what we thought it could have been. But he's come back here. The game's going to just be a standard one here. Reaper opening coming out from MMA. And he's going to be trying to figure out, of course, what Life's up to. What are some of the key components here for MMA to really think about playing in these positions on this map?
Well, you know, you do have that wide open choke point at your natural base, so it can be hard to actually wall that off quickly against quick speedling attacks or anything like that. Of course, where do you take your third base is one of the biggest questions here. Do you kill the rocks and go down? Just like right there that our wonderful observer is showing us here. I believe it is Funka. And do you take maybe the gold base, which is to the left there, which is, you know, the gold base, though, is a little bit crazy. You can see it is so easy to attack it from all angles, from high ground, behind the minerals. It's a hard one to take, but again, that's why I feel like this is a life map. That's the type of base you can take as a Zerg and stay on the aggressive side of things and, you know, get an advantage.
Yeah, and just remember the way that the map order was selected is Life chose map 1, won it, and then he won his opponent's map, and then got to choose the third map, which we're in currently. And Life wanted to play Foxtrot, which you said plays to his strengths.
Well, right now we do have a Reaper coming in. Of course, Reaper's quite good on this map, going to be able to scout what's going on, as well as have a bunch of jump-in points, so can be quite annoying to deal with these. I don't expect it's going to do a lot of damage, though.
No, it shouldn't get too much done here. There is a drone that's very low on health on this natural, and it is going to be hunted down, but these two Zerglings here for protection as they chase around the gas here, taking a lot of damage themselves, though, and MMA very close to getting a kill here.
Ooh, gets a Zergling, but it looks like that's it for now. Very, very close. Great micro by both sides.
He comes in and tries to poke in, but will have to return out here. Single gas by MMA at this point. He usually is looking to take a second one. And he's moving Marines into position again to deny scouting, and there is the second gas coming in. So MMA not really playing to the more standard of openings here, which we see the single gas and third command center just a safer, well, not really safer, but more economy opening focused.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta say, even though this isn't quite as standard, and even though MMA has lost both previous games, I like what he's doing, Apollo. Opening up with a Reaper into a little bit more tech. I feel like that's something that's good against Life. You know, a lot of times Life goes low eco or goes for something that's so greedy that you can punish it with a build like this. But so far, MMA just hasn't been able to put anything together.
Well, MMA is going to try the same build that he used in the previous game here. He's got 2 Widow Mines on way. Of course, the Starport and the Medivac's going to follow. And we'll see what success he can get, because he didn't really get anything from this previous game. And then, of course, he walked into that attack from Life. And the Overlord trying to figure out what's going on. 2 extra Marines come in. And he's going to scout the Starport again here.
Oh, a very good scout, especially considering he hadn't seen those gases. Really tells him a whole lot.
And 4 additional Zerglings do get made. His response to the Starport previously is still to get that Baneling nest quite early, just in case we are to see Hellbats. Only a couple of extra drones, but mostly Zerglings here. And here comes the drop.
All right, this time, you know, he does have a little bit more in that medevac with those 4 Marines as well.
Yeah.
Just a slight variation on what we saw in that last game. In the meantime, Life is pushing his creep, destroying these rocks so he can defend that 3rd base as well. But he's really got to be careful here about this drop. Once again, the Widow Mines are quite a threat because there's no detection for Zerg yet.
And right now, we've got MMA, who's pulling the attention of Life towards the 2nd and 3rd base with his Hellions and Reaper. And then he's planning to drop inside the main base here. The Medevac or Natural. Here it comes. He's going to boost in. He's going to drop the Widow Mines.
Oh, one Widow Mine gets down, and it does, in fact, bro. The Queen goes up. Looks like she'll take the shot. The other Widow Mine, oh, he's not dropping. Kind of a delay here by MMA, but he does drop out that Widow Mine, and 4 drones killed. A very nice shot.
Very good there. And then the Queen inside the main base as well. These 4 Marines doing the work. And even more drones can go down here. So an excellent, successful drop here from MMA.
Certainly it is. The Speedlings coming in with the Queens will, in fact, clean this up. But he had to make spores. He had to, ooh, that's really close. That's really close to going up. Ooh.
Oh, that was a bit nerve-wracking, Apollo.
Too close for comfort there. But damage dealt there by MMA. That's a good start for him. Of course, if that had gone wrong, this series is getting worse and worse and worse. But good start. He's got his upgrades on the way. Noticeably, no 3rd command center, if I'm not mistaken, from what I can tell on the minimap here. It's pure barracks. It's pure production. It's a single engineer mate. And he is just ramping up his unit production very, very early on in this game.
It looks like he wants to go for a massive attack here, Apollo. This could be a scary one for Life to try to hold on against. But you know what? Life is getting 1-1. Those should finish up right around the time that MMA is really pressuring. So at least his upgrades are going well, and his production should also.
I feel like this type of attack is very easy to deal with if you're Life, if you know what's going on. But he's got no indication. He's got no overlords close to MMA. He's got no way to scout this out. The only way he's going to do it is if he builds an Overseer or sneaks the Zergling in. The layer's not close. The pressure is continuing. And Life, who's going to be building a lot of drones at this point, because you're expecting the 3rd command center, you're expecting the double engineering bay. But it is the complete opposite here. That single Zergling on the other side of the map could be one way that he gets a scout on this. But if he doesn't, he will get stung by this.
You are so right, Apollo. We see drone after drone after drone created here by Life, just kind of refilling, getting his army, his economy going. But where is his army? He doesn't have much to speak of. He is starting Baneling speed. He is getting a Spire, and even taking a 4th base. But I got to tell you, that 4th base is never going to live against a build like this from MMA.
Absolutely not. The armory's coming in, so we can build Hellbats with this mix as well. But here comes another drop that's going to continue the pressure here. Any kill, any way to slow down Life is going to increase the value of this next push that's going to come out here. And look at that position of these Marines here.
That Marauder just being in the way for everything. Oh my God, he takes out so many Lings and the Banelings. This is a super powerful attack by MMA, and he is dealing critical damage to Life.
And the armory's about to finish, so these units can turn into Hellbats too. There's a lot of reinforcements coming away here for MMA as well. Oh, Life is up against it right now. This is a very difficult attack. Banelings are being moved. Baneling speed must be very close to finishing as well. But he's lost 13 drones in this. He's lost a lot of units as well. Here is the main attack.
Look at this supply, Apollo. Right now, MMA in the lead by 50 empty supply. He's done a ton of damage to life. His army is so scary with these Hellbats, with this +1 attack. He's pushing forward, and I don't know that life can stop him.
If MMA does not make this work, he's got not a lot left in this game. He needs to make it work, and it looks like he can. He's got so many units here. Baneling's speed is finished. Can they get the detonations? Link's coming from right to try to help out.
A beautiful flank there by Life, but will it be enough? Still Hellbats left. A beautiful micro here by MMA, picking up those Hellbats, redriving them. Link's coming up, but MMA just has too much.
He has way too much, and he's going to take out the Baneling nest, and that is the only way to deal with Marines at this point. Mules are coming out, but they're not going to be too helpful here. Marines here without combat shields are still going to do the work.
Choices to defend. Well, here we are on map 4. In the top right, leading 2-1. Our Zerg player makes some noise for Startail Light. And his opponent down in the bottom center of our map, our Terran player winning the last game. It's Acer MMA.
And of course, the further we go into this series, the more intense it gets for both players here. MMA winning this one will equalize the series after losing the first 2 games, and Life, of course, winning puts him just 1 map away from being the 2014 world champion. What strategies are we going to see? Because we haven't seen anything too crazy yet in this series. We haven't seen any double barracks play from MMA, which he has been known to do. We haven't seen anything too wild from Life in terms of the early game either.
Yeah, that is true, Apollo. I want to venture a guess and say I think it might be time for like a Roach Baneling all-in here. I think it's a good map for it. You know, you're close enough that you can get across the map quite quickly, and the ramp leading up to the natural, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that is a very powerful strategy to use on this map. And as much as Life could be thinking about using that, I think MMA is also thinking that is a very, you know, good possibility to see this come through here. So definitely both players going to be thinking about these possible options here. As MMA can take 2 gases very early on and could play a Hellion Banshee opening, which is quite good against that, but he is just taking a single gas, which would push him away from that. But look at this. On a map that is known for its type of aggression, it's known for its even 2 barracks play. We see 3 hatcheries, then the extractor, then the spawning pool coming out from Life.
Well, you know, he got that Overlord down there, scouted in the right direction, and when he saw it, he was like, you know, I'm not going to sit here on 2 bases and take a reasonably timed third. I need a quick third here to counter your fast command center. So I like what I'm seeing from Life here, but he's got to continue to scout. We saw that that was his hole on Foxtrot. He simply didn't know what was coming from MMA.
Well, the benefits here from Life is he won't reap the benefits of the economy straight away here from 3 hatcheries, but what he will get is the much faster lava injects across 3 hatcheries, which gives him a lot of different ways to play with this. He can use that for a lot of drones and then further his economy. He could use that for a lot of units to be aggressive with. So a good advantage that he'll take with these 3 hatcheries, just seeing where he'll want to put that advantage.
Yeah, it looks like MMA is scouting right now, trying to figure out what's going on. I think he already has a pretty good idea of what's happening. Going in that natural, not seeing a queen, kind of points towards the fact that this could definitely be a quick 3 hatch. So it looks like he will back up with that SCV for now and just continue on his tech route with his 2nd gas.
Yeah, 2nd gas coming in now. So once again, MMA going to open up his options. He's decided not to play for 3 command center builds in this game. It's always about getting that starport nice and early and trying to deal damage and then kind of taking it from there, whether he's successful or not. So we should be seeing that starport come in, and he does have multiple options again to choose from, whether it be the Widowmine play, if he wants to try to go for a Banshee opening, maybe a Hellbat usage as well. So a good couple of choices.
Well, he does throw down, I think it is going to be Hellion Banshee. We see this time he is going for the starport once again, but watching this barracks fly over next to the starport points towards Banshee play, where you can make the tech lab and then switch the add-ons.
And if we were to see aggression come out from Life, the Hellion Banshee's pretty good, obviously. The Banshee can deal a lot of damage against these aggressive units, but scouting is still very important from both sides here. Life has an Overlord coming in to try to figure out what's going on. Likewise, MMA with his first couple of Hellions needs to feel out the game here a little bit more. See where the money's being spent, where that lava is going to be spent. And this Overlord, it's going to get the scouts.
Yeah, it looks like without any issues whatsoever, he's going to see that this is in fact going to be Hellion Banshee, and that is a huge amount of information. You need to know that as a Zerg. Even sees Cloak on the way. Of course, that could be canceled by MMA, but he's got to prepare for it no matter what.
All right, second Tech Lab down nice and early on that barracks as well, so he's going to be able to get Stim into this game and already switching up the barracks play, so he's gone Hellion Banshee into more unit production, and again, hiding away from that third command center. Important just to keep that at the back of your mind here. Double engineering bay after that. And this, again, is building up towards a two-base timing autosis. I've seen this a couple of times from MMA, an innovation alike, where he waits until his 1-1 upgrades are done, and then he hits hard when those upgrades are complete. Life gonna need to try to figure this out, but in the meantime, he's got Hellion Banshee to deal with.
You know what? I think he'll deal with it all right. He's already got 4 queens. The creep spread's pretty good. He's got his speed. He's making spore crawlers. He's going to be fine against that. But this 1-1 timing attack you're talking about here, Apollo, that's the real scary thing happening in this game right now.
Yeah, he cannot be late on his Baneling nest. He cannot be late on Baneling speed. This type of attack is designed to kill when those upgrades are complete. And because you don't have a third command center, because you don't want to further your upgrades, it is all about the kill. And if you don't kill, you will lose this game. A very important moment, a very bold choice of strategy here for MMA. The Baneling nest comes in, of course, going to be very important to get that Baneling speed instantly. But how many drones does he make? Does he even figure this out? Does he not know at all?
I don't think he knows. He could be sniffing it out a little bit. When you go Banshee Hellion, a lot of times you see more than 4 Hellions. A lot of times you see more than 1 Banshee. Hasn't seen either of those, so he might be putting 2 and 2 together here and saying, oh, this could be some other type of aggression with this opening as a feint.
All right, well, Hellions controlling the middle of the map here. The regular timing, by the way, of a third base is around, it can be as early as 9 minutes 30, it can be as late as 11 minutes, so that is kind of the timing where his strategy becomes exposed because there is no third base. Another Overlord goes down, another way to be eliminated in choosing and finding out what's going on and what to do. Units starting to be made here by Life, but it's not to deal with this push.
No, this is just some extra units he wants on the map. He's even taking another base. This is actually looking really, really bad right now for Life. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold on, Apollo.
Yeah, a couple of comfort Banelings being morphed here just to have them, just in case something, maybe a couple of units pushed out here. And this movement there by MMA is almost selling the story of he's about to take his third base, clearing it away. There are 2 tanks with this as well, which are going to support MMA. Will he make this work? If he does, it's gonna be 2-2. The upgrades are completed. This is the time when MMA must move out and he must try to find the victory to tie this series up.
Well, he is moving out with those medevacs right now. Might do a little drop harassment to start this out. The Zergling realizing, wait, where is this third command center? So he's waiting for a drop. Should be able to deflect this for now, but still, the incoming attack is what's really scary.
And because there's 2 extra hatcheries on top of the 3 that is pretty standard, there's a lot of production around for Life. As well as MMA's executed this in terms of the strategy and the build around it, he's not hitting as furiously as he needs to be right now. Well, his 1-1 upgrades, the advantage is gone. Life will have 1-1. Life has Baneling speed. Life has a lot of Banelings. This is getting a little bit scary. And those tanks that MMA is building, they have to hit the Banelings.
They absolutely must. You're supposed to push out this second you hit your 1-1, but MMA is a bit slow. We have this great creep spread. Suddenly, things are looking up for Life. He's got a nice big army, more mutas on the way as well to help out.
Here we go. This is a big push. Remember, it's all about this push here for MMA. Is he going to make it work? There's a lot of Banelings now. There's even Mueller's coming in, 9 of them as well to help deal with this. There's 26 Banelings on the field. Is MMA going to make this work?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. He is trying to abuse this area, the 4th base. But the thing is, he doesn't have a 3rd base behind this. If he was doing this with a 3rd base landed in mining, this would be really scary for Life. But as is, even if he loses this, he can still win this game.
Oh, Life's moving his units down south here, and he's going for a counterattack by the looks of it. The wall is closed off. There are some units here to push these back. But he's also going to come in from different angles. Now, going to start to go in with the Banelings, and they get some pretty decent hits.
Yeah, look how big his army is, Apollo, pushing forward. It loses a few Banelings a little bit sloppily and loses this hatch. So still MMA in this game fighting forward.
Yeah, that attack maybe not the wisest there from Life. He lost a lot without really doing that much, and he lost that fourth. But remember, no third command center, no 2-2 upgrade. It's all about this push. It is always only going to be about this push. Mule is getting into the SCV line here, really slowing down the increment from MMA and forcing him to come back to defend.
You cannot be losing your SCVs like this. You need to keep the pressure on much better than that. These Mutalists doing a fantastic job, but he spent a lot of money on him. Will he have enough Banelings to crush through this?
He's on creep, and Banelings go through. They get a couple of good hits to start off.
That is a good amount of Banelings. They are rolling forward, but still the Siege Tanks and Marines, they continue to press. The Mutalists, where are they? They need to come back and help out.
They do, and these Banelings come riding through again. How much are they going to get done? Not too much there, and MMA pulls back. A pretty good hit in the center there, but Banelings bring it down. Hardly anything here. The Marines bringing down the Mutalists, and MMA pushes through again.
Oh, some nice Baneling connections, though. Not that many Marines left. More links coming out. The Mutalists coming down. Where's the anti-air here from MMA? Oh, there it is. Apollo coming up. The reinforcements right on time.
There's still 30 Marines on this map, but there's a lot of Zerglings, there's a lot of Bins, and they come to push his back once again. MMA picks up to get out. Where is he going? He's going to get chased into the main base. That medevac is very low at the front, and he's going to get taken down here, and so are the rest.
Uh-oh, this is bad news right now for MMA, losing his entire army. Every Marine taken down. Short of all time crowned.
All right, here we go, Artosis. This could be the last game of BlizzCon and the WCS for 2014. Let's make some noise for these players. Up here to the top right, as the blue Zerg player playing for StarTale, it's live!
And his opponent in the bottom left for Acer. If he loses this, he is out. He needs your support, so make some noise. It is MMA.
A year's worth of playing within the WCS system has come very close to its end here. MMA started off in Season 1 with a second place to MC in Europe. He dropped out in the round of 32 in Season 2, which put his BlizzCon hopes almost completely out the window, but he turned it around with a victory in Season 3. Life, on the other hand, started the year incredibly strong as well. He got a top 4 within the GSL in Season 1, and then got a top 12 finish as well, which is a very respectable finish, but then he dropped out of the GSL come Season 3 and started to travel abroad. He went to Intel Extreme Masters, he traveled to DreamHack to pick up points, which he managed to just scrape in to BlizzCon, coming in as ranked number 14 here.
Well,
2 very different years, 2 very different stories.
He's certainly a player that deserves it, Apollo, to be here at BlizzCon with so many great players from around the world trying to get these spots. I would still feel weird if Life hadn't made it. He's been just completely out of control since he really first popped on the scene so long ago.
That's right, and that was the area where he was able to pick up so many tournaments in a row. I think he won about 5 tournaments in the span of 6 months during his dominant reign. And Life, here we are again in 2014, very close to picking up another title. He did pick up DreamHack Bucharest earlier on this year, but this would be the cherry on the cake here if he's able to win this. But here we go, the openings have been chosen. Spawn and pull first here. Bit of a more safer opening here for Life in case we were to run into a double barracks, but also Zerglings can be used aggressively if they do manage to run past this Reaper.
That's right. He is running a couple down. I don't know that they're going to get past the Reaper, though. Looks like he's going to pass him right by and realize what's going on.
Oh.
Skips going through the watchtower.
Artosis, this is... Well, there is a Marine on the way, so shouldn't be too difficult. He didn't build the reactor and factory instantly, which could have been his downfall.
It's funny how bad that would have been for him, in fact. You are right about that. But luckily with this Marine, he'll be able to save the SCV without too much trouble.
And the Marine takes a good few hits here, but he's more worried about the SCV not building the command center than losing the Marine here. He's just going to kind of bring it to the Reaper, sacrifice the Marine, and then pick up these 2 Zerglings with the Reaper. Yeah. And hopefully not lose too much mining time, or building time, should I say, on this command center. So well done there by MMA.
Yeah, losing 0 building time, quite well done. But you know what? That was completely worth the 2 Zerglings. We were talking about how Reaper normally doesn't even kill 1 Zergling really at the top. Well, when 2 run across the map like that and he comes home, you're happy to give him up.
All right. right, 3 command center build for the first time in this series coming out from MMA here off the back of that Reaper expansion. Of course, this build very vulnerable to different types of Baneling attacks, Roach Baneling attacks. This Reaper important to try to figure out what's going on in combination with the Hellions, which we will be seeing very, very shortly here. But that couple of Zerglings, Artosis, did they see this 3rd command center?
I believe so, yeah. They did, in fact, see it. So maybe a little bit sloppy from MMA, putting it so close, but he wants to be able to float it when he wants. But still, this is... I like that MMA is doing what you suggested, Apollo. He's going back into more of a macro-centric play. He actually wants to play his longer game.
But does Live capitalize on this now? This is an opportunity to do so. There's the Baneling nest. There's the extractor coming in. He's scouted it. He's going to try to punish it. If he does, this means he will be the world champion of 2014. This Reaper incredibly important. What information is he going to get? He goes into the main base.
If he can scout that sinking gas in the Baneling nest, it's huge. He'll have to give it up. He does see gases mining,
but
doesn't really tell the whole story, though.
It doesn't know that. Oh, the Hellions, though. They're in the drone line. They get 4 or 5 drones there, and also they see the Baneling nest. The scouting comes from the Hellions here. Oh, a massive scouting here from MMA. But scouting and knowing is half the battle. He's got to get his defense ready. He's got to prepare back at home.
Well, I don't think it'll be too hard for him to do that, Apollo. That was great scouting, being able to see what's going on. Will Life still do it? It looks like he may, in fact. He's making 22 Zerglings. He may just go all in.
Does MMA know exactly what he's playing against? He saw the Baneling nest, but he's added on double engineering bay. There are no bunkers coming in. He's seen the structure there.
Oh, no.
He knows he's been scouted. He knows he's been exposed from the 3rd command center, but he's not preparing his defenses. Maybe he's not exactly sure what this is.
MMA absolutely must start bunkers right now, or Life has a great chance of breaking through and winning the World Championships. 22 more lings on the way.
Oh,
he
no.
is not, he's not pulling any punches here.
Here comes a bunker, but a little bit too late here. There's only one, and that is not going to be enough. There's no really late production. He's playing so greedy. The Hellions, they see one circle, but they don't see the rest. He really doesn't know what's going on.
That is so many Banelings to be morphing, Apollo.
The Hellions miss it again, and Life is moments away here from being the champion. If this works, he's going to cast a flood. Oh, he sees the Zerglings here, but the Banelings, MMA now knows what's going on, but does he have the defense ready? He's got hardly any units.
Apollo, here he comes. That's a lot of Banelings, and it looks like he's going to be able to crash this wall in a matter of seconds. The Hellions coming from behind, trying to surround these Marines. The Banelings going up this ramp, but there's so little defense from MMA.
The SCVs are running away, but there's Banelings chasing them here. He's going to try and break through into the main base. There's a good detonation to the north here. Life is bringing it to MMA right now. He's going to push through here, and once the rest of these Zerglings come through, can MMA make the hole? This is an incredibly tense moment right now. 3 Banelings about to morph.
Those 3 Banelings could be huge. They go up on 1 SCV, so that's not so good yet, but look at this.
There's nothing here.
MMA's SCVs going down.